Good afternoon, students. Good afternoon. So today we will discuss about heredity. Okay. So what do you mean by heredity? See, we all are human beings, but we all of we differ from each other because of some kind of factors. What is that factor? That factor is known as your gene. So where genes are located? So genes are located within the chromosome. This is the structure of your chromosome. This is the short arm, this is the short arm, this is the long arm, and this is a centromere. This is a centromere. So where chromosomes are located? Chromosomes are located within the nucleus. This is the cell and this part is your nucleus. Within the nucleolus is there, and that nucleolus is helpful for it contains the informations regarding every characteristic features we possess. What can be the characteristic features? It can be of two types. One is your, we possess two types of cell. One is your somatic cell, another one is your germinal cell. Okay. So what is somatic cell? Now all the bodily cells or our body consisting of different cells, those cells are known as somatic cells, but germinal cells are present within the reproductive organs. In case of your human, maybe your testes and ovary are your reproductive organs, and that contains germinal cell, and whereas endoecium, gynoecium in case of your plant consisting of your germinal cell. All somatic cells always undergo equational division, but germinal cell always undergo reductional division. In a normal human being, total 23 pair of chromosomes are there. 23 pair of chromosomes are there. Out of that, 22 pairs are your autosomes, plus 1, that is your 23rd number is your sex chromosome in case of your human, and it can be XX for female in case of your female, whereas XY in case of your male. So this is about the structure of chromosome. In case of your onion, the chromosome number is 16. Out of that 16 number of chromosome, haploid, your 8 chromosome is from the male parent, another 8, that is 8 from your female parent. So this is all about the structure of types of chromosomes which is present in a cell. One is your somatic chromosome, another one is your germinal chromosome. So this is the cell, this is the nucleus, and this is your nucleolus that contains chromosome, and the fragment of chromosome which is responsible for contributing a character is known as gene, and gene consisting of nitrogenous bases, that is A, T, G, C. These are adenine, thymine, cytosine, guanine, these are the nitrogenous bases. You will study about that later on in your classes, that is 11 and 12. So this is the structure of chromosome. Short arm is there, centromere is there, long arm is there. So this chromosome carries, see, these are the fibers. So these fibers, these are the individual strand. Maybe this is for the shape of the flower, shape of the seed. This may contribute for color of the flower. This may contribute for some other feature. So accordingly, these chromosomes and the genes used to vary from each other. So we have till Mendel has given or some rules about your concept of heredity. So where heredity deals with the similarity between the organisms of same species, whereas variation says about the differences among individuals of same species. For example, we all are human beings, but our eye color used to vary from one to another. For example, some are having black, some are having brown, and some are having pale brown colored eyes, but some are, and like that skin tone, it use also vary from person to person. So that deals with the gene. So gene is a factor which is responsible for transmission of characters from parents to offspring, and variation deals with the it varies from person to person of same species. So this is all about gene and heredity and variation. So first Gregor Johann Mendel, who was an Austrian monk, have initiated the concept of heredity and variation. So first what he has done, he has taken garden pea plant for his experiment. Why he selected garden pea plant for his experiment? Because it is a self pollinating plant. Along with that, it used to have a small lifespan, so that he can consider the generation study through Pisum sativum or pea. So he has taken 7 pair of contrasting characters for his experiment. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 contrasting character. One is your seed shape, another one is your seed color, flower position, so what is seed shape and seed color, flower position? These all are known as gene, okay, which is present in this chromosome. These are genes. He has taken 7 genes. And what is allele? The alternate form of genes is known as allele. So this is your allele 1, allele 2. Alleles always exist, most of the alleles exist in pair, but some alleles may be of more than 2 types. Jemti eye color, in case of your eye color it can be of 7 different types. So 7 alleles. So this is the gene, these are the alleles, and this is your height. So if you will consider this height of the plant, then it can be tall or it can be dwarf. So these are the 2 alleles seed shape. It can be round, it can be wrinkled, it can be seed color, it can be yellow or it can be green. So yellow seed color is the gene of the plant, whereas seed shape, that is yellow or green, these are the alleles of the plant. So alternate form, this is a gene, the alternate forms of the genes are known as alleles. So these are the alleles and these are the genes. Then what he has done, he has started his experiment on this by considering height of the plant. So first he crossed between 2 plants. For he has taken tall pea plant crossed with dwarf pea plant. In the first generation he got capital and the capital in case of your allele, tall pea plant is always denoted by capital T, whereas dwarf is characterized by small t. So all the plants obtained in the F1 generation means the first generation. After crossing between 2 parent plants, whatever offsprings we are getting that constitute your F1 generation. So in F1 generation he got one gamete from the, see this is the male gamete and this is the female gamete. Gamete always contain only a single allele. Okay, why? Because male gamete is going to be fused with a female gamete. That result in formation of a zygote, and zygote contain 2 number of alleles, both male gamete containing allele, female gamete containing allele. So he got capital T, these zygote he got in the F1 generation, and he observed that all the plants obtained were tall in nature. Okay, so this is, so if you will transfer it will transform it into a Punnett square, then you see this is the male gamete and this is going to be the female gamete, and if you will consider the zygote, then capital T capital T, small t, capital T, small t. Now what you will get, what kind of zygote we will have? Capital T, capital T, capital T, small t, then small t, sorry, capital T, small t and small t, small t. This is a Punnett square. This is a Punnett square. From this Punnett square, the genotypic ratio, what do you mean by genotype or genotypic ratio? Genotype constitute both the alleles of a single gene. It can see what kind here, what kind of genes or what is the genotype of this allele or this gamete. It contains both tall allele and dwarf allele also. So genotype, if you will consider the genotypic ratio, it can be capital T is to capital T small t is to small t. Okay. So capital T, how many number? 1 is to capital T small t is 2 in number and small t which is 1 in number. So the genotypic ratio will be 1:2:1. Whereas if you will consider the phenotype, what do you mean by phenotype? Phenotype means the characters which are expressed. You can easily absorb those characters. For example, height of the plant. You can easily say that this plant is tall or is dwarf. Flower position. Either the flower is in axial position or in terminal position. Either the seed shape is wrinkled or it is round. It is absorbed or it is expressed, and easily you can answer that this is is it a tall plant or dwarf plant, is it axial, the flower position is axial or it is terminal, like that we can easily say. So those characters which are expressed is known as phenotypic character. So here we found that capital T always express tall character, capital T small t also produce tall character, this will also produce tall character, whereas this only zygote will produce the dwarf character. So the ratio will be 3:1. Here 3 parents were tall and only one zygote was producing dwarf character. So this is known as your phenotypic ratio for monohybrid cross. Though we have considered only a single character here only, so that is known as your monohybrid cross. So now if you will be given a question that you have to calculate, you are having for 1600 number of plants are there, out of that you have to calculate the number of dominant plant which is having tall character only. So how you will do? That total 1600 number of plants are there. So here in case of only one character we have considered, that is your height of the plant only we have considered. So total 3 plus 1, that is your 4x equals to 1600, 4x equals to 1600, now x equals to 400, and if you have to calculate the dominant plants only, so 3 is the dominant one, it contributes to the tall character only. So you have to calculate 3x equals to 1200. So out of 1600 plants in F1 generation in monohybrid cross, in F1 generation we will get 1200 number of tall plants and rest 400 number of dwarf plants will be obtained. In case of your dihybrid cross also we will get that ratio like 9:3:3:1, and accordingly also we can do the problem in a similar way. So this is about the ratio. What does Mendel's law, why he has postulated that law? Because we have considered here 7 contrasting characters, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7. If it is height, then or it is next is your flower color. Flower color can be violet or it can be white. So violet one is the dominant one, whereas the white one is a recessive one. So like that he has continued his experiment over these 7 contrasting characters. So from monohybrid cross he postulated that law of dominance. So first one is your law of dominance. Law of dominance states that the character which is expressed in F1 generation is known as dominant character. One is your F1 generation, other feature is your the character which is expressed. Okay, expression F1 generation. These two terms are important. So in law of dominance states that the character which is expressed in F1 generation is the dominant allele over, and the character which is getting suppressed by is known as recessive allele. For example, dwarfism is a recessive character, whereas tallness is a dominant character. It will be the F1 generation will only produce a dominant factor only. Then second law deals with the law of inheritance. Law of inheritance. So we have seen that capital T when crossed with small t, we got a ratio, phenotypic ratio is 3:1. Next, if we will cross capital T crossed with capital T small t, what will be the ratio? Capital T, then capital T, small t, capital T, small t, then capital T, capital T, small t. So the ratio is 1:1 like that. So the ratio is tall only. All the plants will produce the phenotypically they will produce a tall character only. But from this we got an idea that if capital T is crossed with small t, the F1 generation will contain all the tall plants with dwarf plants in the ratio of 3:1. Okay, the ratio will be 3:1. But in the next generation again the dwarf character may arise. Okay, so this suggests that every character or every gene is going to be reproduced in the next generation rather than F1 generation. If it is expressed in F1 generation, then that suggests your law of dominance. But in either in F1 generation or in next generation to F1 generation, may be the recessive character may expressed, small t may express. So that suggests your law of inheritance. If a gene is present in the zygote, then it is going to be expressed. Okay, for example, some of the characters we possess from our grandparents, like if grandparents are having some disease, then that may be transferred to the grandson or granddaughter. So this is all because of this law of inheritance. So second law is your law of inheritance. Third law is your law of segregation. So segregation means separation. So law of segregation suggests at the time of crossing over, we have studied two types of cells are there. One is your somatic cell, another one is your germinal cell. So somatic cells are the cells which are present in your bodily parts, and it will always undergo mitotic division. What do you mean by mitotic division? The parent cell is going to be divided into two equal halves, that is the cytoplasm will also get divided along with the nucleus, and the chromosomes are also going to be reproduced by, or it will be doubled. So and that is known as your equational division. Whereas in meiotic division, from a single cell 4 number of cells will be produced, and each of the cell will have haploid set of chromosomes. What do you mean by diploid and haploid? So every cell in our body 23 pair of chromosomes are there, or 46 number of chromosomes are there. That 23 pair or 46, that is 2n is equals to 46, that is your diploid cell. we are all of us are having diploid cells, whereas in case of your meiotic division, in mitosis what will happen? In somatic cell or mitosis, from a single cell, two cells, from a, this is a parent cell, from this parent cell two daughter cells will be formed. Each of the daughter cell will have equal set of chromosomes along with the cytoplasm. The total cytoplasm and the nucleus that will be divided, parent cell will be divided into two equal parts. So, this is your mitotic division or equational division, whereas in case of your meiotic division, that is MEIOSIS, meiosis or meiotic division, from a single cell which contains 2n set of chromosomes, 4 number of cells will be produced. Each of the cell will have half the number of chromosome, that is it contains 23 number of chromosome, 23 number and 23 number of chromosomes will be produced. If it is a male, then each of the male, this is your male gamete, that will be combined with a female gamete, that is your ova, which also contains 23 number of chromosome, and both of them will produce 2n set of chromosome which is present in the zygote. 2n set of chromosome will have in the zygote, male gamete plus female gamete, that result in formation of a 2n set of chromosome which is present in the zygote. So, if it is capital T plus small t, then it is small t, capital T small t, like that. It is about one pair, like that 23 pair of chromosomes will be produced. In case of your human, the sex of the human is been determined by the number, by the sex chromosome. 22 pair of your autosomes are there, autosome or bodily chromosomes are known as autosomes, plus if it is XX, in case of your female, it is a female parent, and so if it is XX, then it is a female, and if it is 22 pair of autosomes plus XY, then it is a male child. So, this is about XX and XY. Okay, this is the determine how you will determine either the baby born is a boy, it will be a boy or it will be a girl. So, and this is about your meiotic division, in which a single cell will be giving rise to 4 number of cells, and each of the 4 number of cells will contain haploid set of chromosome only. So, what is the difference between haploid and diploid? In diploid, for example, in case of your onion, total 16 number of chromosomes are there. Out of that 16 number of chromosome, 8 chromosomes are derived from the contributed by the male parent, 8 chromosomes are contributed from the female parent. So, 2n is concept is there. One from one part of the or one strand is from the male parent, another strand is from the female parent. So, like that it contribute total, it is a diploid set of chromosomes now, and in meiotic division each of the cell will have half the number of chromosome. So, this is about the difference between haploid and diploid. Okay, understood? So, now next we will go for the homework. Okay. Write the difference between diploid and haploid. How sex is determined in humans. Okay, so this is all about heredity and variation. Okay, so in next class we will discuss about the analytical problems related to the heredity and variation chapter. Okay.